I'm Taylor White with Simplicity Real Estate. I'm here with Brandon Russell, who has a really unique business. I'd argue the most unique in town. But Brandon, I'm gonna let you introduce it as far as what do you call it? And
Yeah, so I started a company called Verve Biotech, and the primary goal of Verve Biotech is the research of venomous animals, mostly arachnids.
okay, arachnids being spiders, right?
Spiders, scorpions, and tarantulas. Yeah.
Okay, and so you have a collection of spiders, scorpions, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I keep over 150 species of different arachnids, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So a few thousand animals, and
Yeah, and I just get the heebie-jeebies thinking about it. So tell me what your day-to-day looks like and what you do with these critters.
yeah. So my day-to-day definitely varies. So about 20 hours of my week is contributed to the care of the animals, and then aside from that, it's mostly looking into kind of planning research projects. So when looking at venom research, we extract the venom from the arachnids, and then utilize that for research for Verve Biotech, which has the primary goal of developing diagnostic tests, assays or tests, and innovative treatments for people that get bit or stung.
Okay.
So that's the primary goal. Now those are very long timelines of work and process.
Do you have any direct ones that you can point to that you've achieved?
So definitely not at this stage. Yeah, we're still in
Okay.
the very kind of beginning stages of building kind of the foundation of everything. In addition to that, I also do contract research work for different pharmaceutical companies, mainly like assay development and then consulting.
Very cool. And then where do you get and find these different critters?
Yeah, so that is a good question, and surprisingly, I guess a lot of people keep these as pets as well.
Okay.
And so there are really the kind of availability of captive bred species is primarily driven by the hobby, if you will, people keeping these. So there are people who breed them in Europe, the United States, and so mostly it's trying to figure out what species we want to work with, and then looking for different areas where we can locate people who keep them, and then acquire them from them. So occasionally we'll get imports of these animals from a breeder in Europe, and then sometimes within the United States, and then occasionally we will acquire animals that are wild caught, as long as our primary purpose is to captive breed them and to establish them in our facility. We try to stay away from wild caught as much as possible, just from the animal welfare standpoint.
And how did you get into this
Yeah,
very
so
specific niche?
yeah, I've been fascinated with reptiles mostly, and then arachnids most of my life. So I caught and kept my first black widow when I was 12 years old, and so that kind of started that curiosity. Now going through school is mostly just a hobby. I kept these animals just as pets, and then when I went to college, I kind of had to put everything aside, focus on academics, where I went to school for microbiology, immunology, and epidemiology. And so the combination of that, when it came time, I worked for small startup companies and large companies in the pharmaceutical industry, and I kind of just decided that I wanted to do my own thing, and what better way to kind of blend in my academic training and professional career training with my passion.
So you've garnered some attention to this. I know from this. I know you've had some national attention on you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So along with kind of this biotechnology and research, a passion of mine is education. So I also am an adjunct instructor, a lab instructor at Southeast Community College, and being able to educate people about these things that a lot of people don't necessarily like. It is really fun for me, and so we've had the opportunity of photographer Joel Sartori, which runs the National Geographic Photo Arc, where he has a goal of photographing as many species as possible. And so he's come to my facility a few times and taken photos of just all different species of arachnids that he's looking for to kind of fill in that species list, and it's a lot of fun.
So what's the rarest critter that you have?
Oh, that's a good question.
Kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I have a couple scorpion species where there's probably only 4 or 5 in the United States currently. I'd have to. That's a tough one to answer.
Nope, that's okay.
It's a good question though.
Yep. Anything else that you want to share with people about what you do, or ways to get into the business, I guess?
Yeah. With starting a biotechnology company is extremely challenging. It's a very expensive field to be in, and it's kind of that high risk, high reward. So you spend a lot of time putting in the resources and the financial effort, and sometimes it never works out. But hopefully, our goal is to at least be able to contribute something to the field that has a benefit.
Yeah.
Has a positive benefit to either people and animals.
Very cool. Well, thanks for taking time with us. Again, Brandon and Taylor Wyatt with Simplicity Real Estate.